188. Let's get to the second Michael Bay Transformers film, which is Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. Came out in 2009. Stars mostly the same cast, not really a lot of others. And the synopsis is Sam Witwicky, terrible last name, leaves the Autobots behind for a normal life. But when his mind is filled with cryptic symbols, the Decepticons target him and is dragged back into the Transformers war. So, of course, with the first one being such a huge hit, they had to do a sequel, and Michael Bay came back to direct, and everybody really same from the first. I don't think I may have seen this one when it came out. I was old enough for sure, but I really do not remember. But I've seen it a handful of times over the years. And not to say it's inherently terrible, but I find that 2 and 3 really run together for me. I can never remember what action sequences went in what movie, what stories going on. Like, I feel like these two almost could be the same movie. Whereas I feel like 1, 4, and 5 all feel fairly distinctive. And there's a lot of things that I remember specifically from those. And in 2 and 3, I don't. I don't know why that is, but that's just how it's always been, no matter how many times I rewatch it. This one starts out with, I think the opening sequence with Optimus Prime is pretty awesome. And there's that very signature Bayhem moment where Optimus Prime jumps while transforming, and Michael Bay has the camera going one way and then Prime going the other. And so it creates this very almost vertigo inducing, but pretty cool visual moment. And whenever you see the Transformers popping out of the different warehouses and there's that whole chase on the highways, that's pretty well done. Then we meet back up with Sam, and Sweet Sam is going off to college, and his parents just can't take it. They're distraught. And there's the really just disgusto abarfo stuff with the mom where she has his baby shoes and she's crying like crazy. And of course, we have to see the dogs they have having sex while all this is going on because that's just so funny. Then the house gets destroyed, which I like that. And one thing actually that I do enjoy about the Bumblebee character is because of his malfunctioning voice box, he only can speak through different recordings, like bits of recordings from movies or from songs. I think that's pretty funny. Sometimes they use the obvious choice, but I actually don't mind that. And it's pretty clever more often than not. Then when we see Megan Fox for the first time again, we see her from the back. Her ass is like right in front of the camera, zooming in while she's wearing short shorts. Of course, she's into motorcycles and is a black thumb in this big sweaty auto shop with a bunch of burly guys. Like, I'm just like, dude, this is gross. For one thing, not that it's, I think, any big news, but Megan Fox and Shia LaBeouf, very little chemistry, if anything. I do appreciate, since Green Day is my favorite band, there is a Green Day song in this briefly, but it's the Michael Bay thing to, all right, what's popular right now? Let's choose this song. And so in that way, feels very dated. As much as I love the song, it's just, come on, man, try harder, please. Then when we see Sam going to college, his mother is running around like crazy. I'm not going to recap the whole movie, don't worry. But this opening is pretty iconic in the worst way. There's Sam meeting his roommates, who of course have pictures of seemingly like random girls all over their cyber computer gamer room in their dorm. And it's like, dude, what is wrong with you? Like, it's just so unnecessary interjections of these visual teases, and you tell exactly what kind of person he likes, what he's into. Some other things, though, overall, the sound design in all of Michael Bay's movies are very good. I love good sound design in movies, so I appreciate that, especially when it comes to the Transformers. I did want to mention, with Michael Bay's style and blockbusters, I mean, obviously there's inherently a stupidity to a lot of them, especially when it comes to sci-fi and fantasy, that sort of thing, which is fine. I can watch the stupidest sci-fi blockbuster out there and enjoy it as long as it's executed well. But comparing blockbuster filmmakers, let's say Christopher Nolan, to me, Christopher Nolan, he's made comic book films, he's made a space movie, he's made an action film based around dreams, so pretty over the top, exaggerated things. And yet, he's someone, amongst others, who can still have a focus and appreciation for intelligence within a film and appreciation for characters being smart, thinking properly, not just acting on impulse, or at least most of the time. And as mean as it may sound, I feel like Michael Bay, like some people can make smart movies about dumb people, but I feel like most of the time Michael Bay makes dumb movies about dumb people who typically rag on the people who are smartest in the room within a scene. And going back to what I said in the first review about his humor that I really don't like, the main reason, thinking about it now, is so much of it is derived from characters degrading others. And like whether it's race, faith, sexuality, whatever, it's almost always the laughs are coming from, or he's thinking the laughs are coming from, people really making others constantly, not a little bit of the time, and it's super obvious and blunt. It's characters making others feel lesser than. And he is one of the most unsubtle filmmakers out there, so he has it coming. Sorry. There's this scene at the beginning that is a perfect example of what I was talking about, where Sam is giving this presentation on his like great grandfather or something like that, and he has all of these historical artifacts from his ancestor, like newspaper clippings, documents, things like that, and it's really cool stuff. And he's telling this really interesting story, and the teacher's like, this isn't talk about your family history day or whatever it is, something stupid where he's just degrading here. That sucks. That's not interesting. Let's move on. Some scenes that, whether it's so bad it's good or whatever, it still gets a laugh out of me. The scene in the college classroom where Sam Witwicky's eyes start fluttering and he sees the codes like in his mind and he starts going up on the, I don't know why I'm laughing so hard right now. It is funny, where he goes on the classroom like stage and starts just writing and talking gibberish. That's actually amazing. And so that is one standout scene. But one scene I do like action wise is the fight with Optimus Prime out in the woods, like the forest. I think that's pretty well done, well shot. Cannot stand John Turturro's character. I love him as an actor, but he's by far one of the most unfunny characters maybe of all time. And John Turturro is very funny in general. Not in this, though. Trying way too hard. Lastly, there is some other signature shots of Michael Bay that he uses in a lot of movies, but it still works for the most part, where there's I think first used in Bad Boys 2, where it revolves around Will Smith and Martin Lawrence when he's on the phone, and Martin Lawrence gets up and it's this really epic sweeping shot and it looks really cool. But it's used a little too often where that originality is lost. Besides that, not a whole lot else to say. Was a bit of a slog to rewatch. Really not a Bay film that I want to go back and revisit anytime soon, or unless I'm doing it for a show like this. So getting it out of the way, knocked off the list. So that one is a light 2 out of 5.